Yo, we good, we good? All right, all right. 1 2 1 2. One credit guy in the building.
Yo, 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 yo. What it do, my guy?
What's good, man?
What's good, man?
We here in the building.
We're looking like twins today, twinsies.
Yeah, you know, the tangible equity. We got that for you guys, you know what I'm saying? I woke up like that. We great minds think alike.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't happen on purpose.
It didn't
it
happen.
it wasn't planned.
It
let's
was
say.
not.
It wasn't planned.
Absolutely.
So how you feeling, man?
It's good, man. Monday morning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty good, man. Focused.
Focused. Yeah.
Yeah.
So got the nice shades on, looking
You know,
dapper,
you know.
as always.
We try to feel good, these days. There's a lot of chaos out here. So
That it is.
we gotta stay occupied.
Episode 3.
Man, that's a milestone for us, episode 3.
Like, before we get into all that, my name is Lionel T.J. Tillman. I am the author of How I Stopped Child Support Legally.
And you guys know I'm one credit guy. I am the author now, officially, of how I removed child support off my credit legally.
Yeah, and this is Child Support Fraud Show.
Yes.
There's been a lot that's transpired since the last time, since episode 2.
Yes, it has.
It's a lot has transpired, and there's been an overwhelming response to the first 2 episodes, to where the people have demanded that, episode 3,
Right.
what's going on? Like, keeping us in check. Like, what's up? I'm on you. I done watch episode 1 and episode 2 30 times.
Hey, we appreciate that.
What's up?
Yes, sir.
So, here we are, episode 3, and like I said, there's a lot that's transpired.
Yes.
Most recently, Instagram has put more restrictions on the child support is fraud page. If you guys have been following, it started off with a week.
Yep. The 7 days.
Well, actually, no, the first one was 48 hours.
It was a 48 hour?
I didn't even know, but it was a 48 hours one.
40 hours to where you can't communicate.
You can't send DMs, and then when you go live, it put restrictions, like it mutes the mic, so people can't even hear you.
So when you go live, you mute. It's just basically
Like you just Charlie Chaplin.
wow. So then what happened after that? I mean, it was 48 hours, and they moved it up.
And then
to
it
7.
went to 7 days, and for a whole week, couldn't respond to DMs, couldn't go live.
I mean, what those reasons are for? Like, what are their? I mean, I understand a lot of people have like moderators and stuff like that to kind of keep things in guidelines, but it's nothing that we're doing that's outside of the guidelines.
Yeah, they keep saying like it's a violation of community policy to keep it fair and equal, and what are some of the other trigger words that they use? Safe, and
By just speaking on information and facts,
Yeah.
and your experiences.
yeah.
Wow,
I mean, the first sign that I've seen of it is when I put up, and which I wanted to talk about as well. Might as well, it's a good segue to go into 28 USC 1691, which says that all writs and processes issuing from a United States court must be under the seal of the court and signed by the clerk thereof. Now, in my case, there were many documents that didn't have, it was signed by an actual deputy clerk.
okay.
There's a Supreme Court case law. I can't think of it right off the top of my head, but I'm gonna come back to it, to where it says that where there are cases that it's only signed by a deputy clerk, it's void for lack of judicial signature.
Correct.
And what I found in my case, and going through a lot of other cases, to where I found that there's a lot of cases where it does not have signatures of the actual clerk.
Correct.
And some of my documents and some of you guys' documents, it don't even have the seal of the court.
at all. It's blank.
It's just blank. So in the top right corner of your actual order, at the top on the first page, it's supposed to have the seal of the court. So just say we are in California, so it says Los Angeles Superior Court, John A. Clark, signed by Deputy Clerk Michelle Rivera.
Right.
Michelle Rivera is not a judicial officer. So therefore, that document is lacking a judicial signature. So therefore, it's void. And if it's void, then it's unenforceable.
Right.
So
Right.
using this in my case to obtain remedy, and this is something that that video that I put up in regards to that, it got a lot of traction, and people were saying, how do I know that this is true? I don't know, blah blah blah, which is always
Fair enough question.
Yeah.
Especially when you're not understanding what's the process.
But then I get moving forward, I'm in the process of suing child support in federal court.
right.
A summons was issued to me, and what do? So when a summons come, for those that don't know, a summons is a notice that's sent out that says this person is suing you.
Right.
You have to show up
Right.
at this time or present evidence to contest this lawsuit. I sent this notice because when you're suing in federal court and you're suing a quote unquote government agency, not only does the agency and the other parties have to be notified by summons, the Department of Justice, the Attorney General, the United States Attorney, all these people have to be notified. So when I sent it to them, a few weeks later, I get something in the mail from the Department of Justice saying, hey, we received your summons, but we're looking at it, and you ain't gonna believe what they said.
I know what they said.
But you ain't gonna believe what they
You're not
said.
gonna believe what
They said
they responded to you.
So the Department of Justice responded to the summons that I sent to them. The same process that we've said many times, that it doesn't matter what state you're in, it's the
Right.
same process in any state. So they responded back to me saying that we looked at your summons and we are not served because the summons that you sent to us, it lacks judicial signature and is not under the
signature.
seal of the court under, what did they quote? 28 USC 1691.
Voila. Wait. So you saying the DOJ entity, after you sent them a summons to let them know what's going on, they responded back to you with the same thing that you responded to child support with, that you in this document, or this document per se, lacks a judicial signature. Therefore, we ain't gonna make no move. And not only stated it, they put in the actual case.
the actual case,
code.
the code, 28 USC 1691. So now here's the thing.
Wow.
This is why I'm suing y'all. This is the reason why my case got dismissed for extrinsic fraud, because your documents that you summoned me was not under the seal of the court, nor signed by the clerk thereof,
Child support.
under 28 USC 1691. The case was dismissed for fraud. And here it is, we turn back around. Now you're trying to use the same thing against me. But the problem for them was it was filed electronically by the actual judge. So at the top of it in blue, the judge put the case, she put the court, it has her digital signature.
Right.
So it was filed electronically. They're looking for the actual signature and the seal of the court. But the whole purpose of bringing that up is when I put that up on Instagram, Instagram took it down within 5 minutes. They took it down within 5 minutes. And that was the 48. That's when they restricted me for 48 minutes. I mean, for 48 hours.
Wow.
When they took that document down, because I posted it up saying, yo, I keep telling y'all 28 USC 1691 is real. Here it is. The Department of Justice sent it to me saying, in the same case,
It lacks judicial
it
signature.
lacks a judicial signature, so therefore we're not served. And so as when I put it up on Instagram, they shut it down. They removed it and then ban me from sending direct messages for 48 hours. I have the case law. I told you I was going to find it, so I just wanted to find it while one credit guy was talking.
Yeah, that's
It
crazy.
is Scamby Manufacturing Company versus William Tryon. That's the case law.
That's the case
where
law.
it says, I'm going to read it. It says right here, the district court held that the injunction signed only by a deputy clerk of the district court is void for want of a judicial signature, and that's section titled 28 USC 1691.
Wow. I mean, that's it. So, with all that being said, is that these documents that child support sends out that lacks these judicial signatures, they're null and void. They're not enforceable. But the problem with that is that we don't understand that.
Yeah, that's
The people
problem.
that they sending this to, they don't understand it. Now, maybe those attorneys that they have sitting over there, maybe not. I'm just throwing that out there. But once again, and I think I said this before we went live on our IG page, and I said that the biggest industry that we have in America is not transportation, right? It's not the U.S. Postal Service. It's the business of ignorance.
Ignorance.
They make the most money off of us, everybody, because of lack of understanding. Our ignorance, that's the biggest commodity.
And in our culture, when you say you ignorant, people take that as offensive.
That's
It's
very
like, it's like,
offensive,
nah. What that means is just lack of education. You just don't understand.
Right.
That's all it is. It's just the lack of understanding what this subject matter is.
That's it.
You're not well versed. There's a lot of things that I'm ignorant
Of
to the
course,
fact of.
absolutely.
I
I'm
mean,
still
even-
ignorant of a lot of things that
Even in the actual law, I'm ignorant to a lot of things in law and child support law. That's why when a lot of people ask us questions, I'm quick to say,
Like,
"Hey, bro, I don't know.
Look it up.
I don't know." I take pride in not knowing everything,
Right.
and that's the beauty of it. You do not have to know every single aspect
You
of
don't.
this law to obtain remedy.
You don't have to. It's a science behind this. It's like I want to say attorneys and lawyers, right? You're practicing.
Boy,
You're
I'm
always
glad-
constantly.
I'm glad that you're going there because that's segueing into
Yeah.
what I wanted to talk about next.
Yeah, I mean, it's always practicing.
And in the headlines in the last 2 to 3 weeks, it was Tyrese.
Oh yeah, shout out to Tyrese though.
Shout out to Mr. Gibson. Ty, what up? Tyrese, his attorney, in his case, initially when we seen it, when it came out, Tyrese is ordered to he went in saying that, before he even got to that point, he was saying that, hey, there's a racist judge in my case. He was calling for all these people to come out.
Yes.
Which awareness it brings light
Bring
to, which
awareness, and I
understood
think
it.
that was his intent, and that was his goal.
Yeah.
Was to, because I'm like, he's like, I don't mean to cut you off, but I think from his perspective, he was frustrated, completely frustrated, because I think he was, I think we all do. We run off of a morality,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he just felt like this stuff wasn't right, and so he felt that he was going in there just speaking from a man's perspective, from his heart, and they didn't care.
Yeah, because they don't care about
They
it.
don't care about none of
It's,
that.
it's not about morals. This is not a court of morals. It's a matter of ignorance or not. Ignorance of the law is not a legal defense.
No,
so are you?
unfortunately, it's
yeah.
not.
So do you understand what you're doing, or are you gonna have someone
To speak.
to speak on your behalf? And unfortunately, in that situation, just from the surface level, I don't have any inside track to allegedly. From my point of view, where I sit, the issue from surface level, it landed in the laps of his legal team.
Right.
I mean, just out the gate, because when he first came out talking about it, he was like, yo, How can a person make this amount and then this amount and still get this amount? So off top, you're talking about money. So therefore, your attorney should have advised you to not even go that route to even talking about money, because when you're speaking about money, you're ultimately saying you're agreeing to the order.
Right.
So it's like, I don't have a problem with the order. I just got a problem with how much I have to pay.
Right.
And that's the problem.
Right.
And when you do that, you're giving them jurisdiction on top of the fact that you've already hired an attorney, which gives them jurisdiction because they're saying you are incompetent to speak for yourself, and you need our services. So therefore, you recognize our authority, correction. Therefore, you went and hired an attorney, and now you've given us jurisdiction over the situation.
Right.
So
and for him, he was able to bring awareness
yeah,
of how unjust and inappropriate these cases are is going on in these lower courts that doesn't have cameras, that doesn't have a social media platform to say, hey, look what's going on. And fortunately for him, yeah, I'm glad he did post that up and make it aware. And people don't understand, like, look, this man is fighting for his daughter, right? We all get the short end of the stick,
right.
okay? Being in America about raising our children. And for him to want to be out here in the public on that level to let the world know, look, this is what I'm out here doing. He still get criticized for it. And a lot of these people that's either not versed in this information or just very one-sided, they think it's a joke.
Right.
They think you can play with someone's family, play with someone's blood out here. And then other people that's in his space as far as celebrities making the jokes and fun out of this. I feel like that's so disrespectful, because here is a man, fighting for his family, for his daughter, but yet we turn around and hop on social media and say free such and such, free XY rapper, free this rapper, when they are committing, all types of things in our community. But here it is a man that's fighting for his blood, his own, and there's no donations. There is no support.
No.
There is no. That's why I'm saying, like, we're so backwards. We're so our culture. I don't even claim this culture because it's so fucking backwards. I'm not a part of this shit, because there's no way that you have a man that's fighting for his daughter, and people want to take that as a joke, as that's funny, like but it's okay to say free such and such while they out here shooting and riding around with guns and holding guns to the head.
But yeah, and that's
so
that's the thing. I mean,
I don't want to go into. It's
the two sides to it.
Wow.
To where at certain times, people, there's an uproar, and then other times it's not. But then at the same
pick
time,
and choosing, right?
They pick and choose, they cherry pick, but at the same time, the government has done a great job at marketing child
support. What is child support?
Child support.
And we touched on this before. If you guys been following us, if you guys been following the page, you've been following the YouTube page. Shout out to all the subscribers too.
Man,
shout out to y'all. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. And we need more. Hit the like button. Please spread the information. But when it comes down to these particular situations here, I kind of basically look at it like this, as far as us giving this information. It's like, what we do here on this page is not it's not a selfish reason. We do it because we went through an experience that I feel like a lot of young black people, or just black males go through. And these things can cause a lot of trauma in your life.
Yeah.
So this is an outlet for us to really express and show you how detrimental these things can be, individually, onto our families, personally, and our communities. So we want to shed light. We want to literally shed light on these types of things. And I feel like guys like Tyrese that is going through the same thing. See, no matter how much money you got, right?
No.
We're going through the same type of things when you're dealing with these courts, these lower courts. And we want to shed, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There is, you have to be ready to, you got to be ready to go to war with these people.
Have to.
You can't, you got to stand on your square. You got to arm yourself with the knowledge. Don't let this information be overwhelming, because it can be, because there's so many moving parts when it comes to this.
No, that's a
a lot of moving parts. So it becomes very like, I just give up. And once again, I want to kind of go back, because I know I digress just a little bit, but when we talk about child support, when you mentioned government did a really great job on marketing child support, what is, if you take away child support, just that term, guys, that term, what is it? What is the actual term? What is the real name of child support?
Title 4D.
Title 4D. But why, when you look at Title 4D, and if I said, well, you on Title 4D, most people will be like, what the hell is that?
It don't even sound sexy.
Go pay your Title 4D. Like,
it does. Title 4D. Go pay your Title 4D. That don't even sound sexy.
Not at all.
It's not appealing.
It's not emotional. It doesn't tap into anything.
It's not triggering. It does not move you to do anything. But child support.
Yes.
Why you not paying your child support? You don't want to take care of your kid? Oh, you a deadbeat.
What?
You ain't paying your child support?
And there you go. Once you start making those assertions and claims, and it goes to a whole, and now you arguing.
Yeah, because Title 4D
is what?
It is a program to where they're going after the non-custodial parent, because that parent, again, that's saying that you're guilty of a crime.
Right.
So therefore they're coming after you because that non-custodial parent did not claim their parental rights in family court. So they presume that you have abandoned your child, and your child will be or is currently dependent upon government assistance. They are needy or dependent. So to prevent them from being there for long or in the future, we're coming after the non-custodial parent to repay back a grant that was given for free.
A grant. Grants. Yeah. Well, I mean, we can hit on grants.
Yeah.
But I want to stay with. Yes, they have created a market. They advertise. They have customers. Guys, listen. They have customers. Child support has customers. There's services. You sign up for services. There's an application fee. You know, you can get it waived, or it's $25. They recruit. I mean, you put up. Oh my goodness! You put, you put up a video,
bro.
Hey, look, go to the page. You're gonna have to probably repost it, but there is a video that you posted, unintended. It was you was filming you because they was getting ready to call you in about a situation. You just so happened to catch in the background one of the workers that works for the company, the child support agency, saying, "Hey, the first thing that came out of her mouth when she asked the individual asked, hey, I want to open up a child support case, first thing came out of her mouth was,
you got a social security number? Do you have his social security number? That is a crime. What is that? You're one credit guy. Social security number. What is, when that representative of that agency asks the person, do you have his social security number? What act was that committed at that moment?
At that point, the individual would have responded. Now, I don't know, because I don't know if you got that on tape, but I don't know if she said the 9-digit code.
She didn't. She didn't have it.
That will be considered identity theft. So identity theft, you cannot use a person's social security number without their consent. Period.
Yeah.
Period. If you're not a federal FBI agent and investigating a crime, you cannot give that. Y'all should protect. If you're gonna use your SSN, you supposed to secure that. That is a private number, whether y'all understand that or not. That's a private number.
Private.
Now that's one of the main mechanisms that child support uses, because Congress gave them a little leeway to access these things. But what they're accessing is you still have to get consent. You can get access, but you're supposed to give the person consent. So whether it's orally or it's written, but you're supposed to give the person consent. And if I give that Social Security number to that agency without that person knowing, that is an act of aggravated identity theft. Now, you know, what these people are doing, they don't think they're committing any type of crimes. But once again, if they wasn't committing these types of crimes and these types of violations, then there wouldn't be no need of attorneys and lawyers.
That's a fact. That's a fact. I mean, but even on child support's website, even after that situation, I went on child support's website and it says that how they locate the non-custodial parent is they ask the other parent for a Social Security number. So this is not just a isolated event. This is
their pattern of
practice. This is custom.
So-
Which that at that point, now we're going into
criminal. That's
now we're talking about lawsuits. This
Yeah,
is a
talking about
pattern
lawsuits.
of practice. This is custom.
And look, I'm not an attorney. I don't pretend to be an attorney.
Right,
I'm not a
right,
paralegal.
right,
I don't
right.
get legal advice.
Right.
I'm just speaking on what I've read. I'm not telling you what to do, but look into it. Your Social Security, the Congress has already put these things in place for you to be private. It's the Privacy Act.
Yeah.
Now, the bank, if you're going inside of a bank, the bank wants you to identify who's opening this account. We're not going to use this Social Security number to attach as your personal account.
But the thing with that is, you are there present. You're present.
You're physically
and
present.
You giving it to them. I can give you my social if I want to, but I can't give them one credit guy's Social Security number.
Come on, man. Bro, so we already know what types of violations these are committing. Now, it's up to you to extract these types of things and move forward again. Because once again, they're committing them right in front of your sight. They're making you commit the crime, whether you know it or not.
Right.
Because when they ask you for this person's Social Security number, they're about to use that Social Security number as a form of
As a locator.
as a locator, but at the same time use it to enforce an alleged debt
yeah.
that was given to by a grant.
It started from a grant. It started from a grant.
Originally, it started from a grant.
Yeah, originally in 1935, Title 4A was started. That is the child, what is that? Medicaid, Medicare,
Yes.
cash aid, food stamps. That is
Right.
that whole program, Title 4A. That's government after the Great Depression, or at that point, they started these programs to help needy families.
Right.
And at that point, and I spoke on this on IG, at that time in 1935, women couldn't work at that time.
Yes.
So if a man left a woman with a child at that time, how would that woman survive? Because she can't go work.
Right.
She can't work at that time in 1935.
In 1930, where were these men going to? They was going to war.
To a military.
To a military.
Yeah, so at that time.
Right.
So that's why they came up with these programs. But it's like, okay, well, these women can't work. So yeah, we have to support them with this program. They're giving out a grant. But as times went on, and now we're talking about civil rights, and now people of color are having access to vote, women can work, and things of this nature. Now they're looking at it and say, hey, we're giving out too much money. Where are we giving this money out at? And they looking and say, oh, this is a lot of underprivileged areas. Therefore, so in 1974, Congress came up with the amendment Title 4D. They came up with amendment for Title 4, which
Right.
is D, which is child support, the enforcement going after this non-custodial parent. But now at this point, the money was given out as a grant.
But they kept it the same.
It's given out as a grant, and that money is not paid back. So how are you enforcing a grant, a debt, to enforce something that was given out for free?
And that's, once again, that's the 3-card Molly. That's the things where we do this, we shuffle the deck. and we always know where the hidden hand is at. And it's, now, when we're speaking on this, I want to kind of go back to when we're talking about, because I don't know if we mentioned custody, but when we're talking about the custody aspect and then the child support, we know those are separate.
Correct.
Those are two different things, and you guys have to understand that the child custody is totally separate from child support. And I think in so many ways of this magician here, they merge like child support custody as one and the same, but they're not the same. So it kind of confuses the individual there. Everyone has a right, unless they can deem you as an unfit parent by all these other. First of all,
you have parental rights.
You have parental rights. Okay, I mean, look. First of all, you got God-given rights. I don't waive none of my rights. I don't think.
No.
Okay. So now, once again, when we're dealing with the custody side of things, where these things are being triggered is that I hear people say they got child support, but when I ask them a question, they don't have custody. And I'm going, well, that's your issue.
That's the problem.
That's your issue.
That's the problem.
Custody is not awarded to someone just having a baby. That is an equal entitlement at that moment. Equally. So you have to claim those rights or you lose them.
Yeah.
Because remember, they're working off of presumption. So they're not going to give you no answers to anything
they're not giving you the benefit of the doubt.
Ignorance of the law
is not a legal defense. So when you're coming in there for custody and they're like, okay, well, we'll give you joint legal custody, but they ain't saying nothing about physical custody, because physical custody, when both, and you know this for a fact, when both parents are equal custodial parents on paper, they ain't nothing they can do.
No.
There's nothing that they can do, because there is no non-custodial parent.
Don't let them
Call
put you.
Objection.
Don't let them disrespect you like that.
Yeah, because that's not when you, if you just think about any civil matter, you're arguing points. Who's guilty? Who did what? You don't start talking about money until someone has been found guilty, or someone is saying, you know what, I don't even want to go through this. Let me just settle, and then now you're talking about money. Same thing.
So where we see a lot of the mistakes is being made based off our experiences, what we had to go through is at the custody side of things. At least for my side, it was like, okay, the custody situation is very, 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 very vital.
Yeah.
And it's so funny that you get these comments, right? You get these comments a lot, guys. And I understand you're gonna have trolls. I get it. We need the trolls because they make things interesting.
Right.
You know, we get to have conversations because we got the trolls. But you just trying to find a way, not trying to pay child support. You're trying to find a way of not just that men to do anything to just not pay child support. But that's not an entitlement, and it's not a right.
Yeah, I mean,
if I can talk in real time, it's not a right. So you can feel how you want to feel about the situation. It's not a right.
That goes back to ignorance, because you just don't know. So you can say whatever you want because you have a mouth.
Right.
And that takes it to, I want to talk about, there was a historic moment that happened last month in, not only in child support, just in lower courts, period. You always had the right to, when you go to a child support hearing, they gave me a paper. It's a consent form that says this person that's over your case, they're acting as a temporary judge. They're not a judge, they're an attorney. Do you consent to have your case heard by this person? Yes or no? I didn't consent to it. I said no. They still denied me.
Of course.
But you always had the option to take your case and have it heard by an actual judge. Some people were granted that right when they didn't consent. But there's a Supreme Court case law. It's SEC versus Cochran. And I believe it was April 14, 2023, that the Supreme Court ruled that you now have the right to walk inside of your lower court hearing, child support, traffic court, anything where these lower courts where your constitutional rights are being violated. You can say, hey, putting them on notice, I'm moving my case over here to a Title III hearing with a Title III judge. So at that point, because when you go in these lower courts, they're saying that they don't honor the Constitution, yet they're using statutes that honor the Constitution to uphold the Constitution. They have a big seal behind them of the United States of America stating, and this they took an oath of office to uphold the Constitution, yet they're saying you and I, you and him and her and them and they for all of the pronouns, y'all don't have the right to use the Constitution in this hearing because we don't do that here. So the question is, where is here? Where is here? Where are we at?
Okay, so
It sounds like a Matrix question.
Yeah, for real.
It sounds like
For
a
real.
Matrix. So if we're not in the real world, if we're not in court, but it looks like a court, you got a bailiff, you got a judge, you got a court reporter, you got a judge
is
assistant.
court.
You got a seal of the court that says United States Court, Superior Court.
But we don't do that here.
But it's not a
What's
court.
here?
What is here? What is here? And then you bound them to the supremacy clause that says that no state in the United States can come up with their own law or their own constitution that conflicts with the United States Constitution, which is the supreme law of the land.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna stand on my. Hey, listen, there's this space right here. I'm standing on it, and guess what? People can say what they want to say. Oh, you just trying to find what you can have that conversation. That's great because I know what's going on, and
Right.
and they do too.
Yeah.
So we gonna just sit here and see who blinks first.
It's like that
Okay.
meme with Puffy and the dude. You see,
Right. Yeah. It's who gonna blink first. And if the people that don't understand it, hey, look,
This ain't-
this information is really, you got to go seek it out. And if it's not gonna come to you.
what do you say? That's above me now.
Yeah.
It's above me.
So this particular case that just went through Monumental this year, like last month.
Yeah, on the 14th.
So basically, it's speaking on administrative law judges. If you administrative law judge, and it doesn't matter if you're in a, I don't know, a agency court. Child support cases, those are administrative law judges.
Yeah.
So when people say, well, they're not talking about child support, they're not. What y'all mean, bro? Half the cases don't be talking about your situation. You just have to use these cases and read through these cases, and long as it's similar to what you are going through, it applies.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people don't understand, and that's the whole point of the platform is just to provide the education. That case it's monumental, and it provides an easier opportunity for lawsuits to be brought when they deny you that right, especially being that this is so fresh that the Supreme Court has ruled that you have the right to now take.
It's so fresh that nobody even knows about it.
Yeah, it's fresh.
Like, so you welcome. Listen, shout out to my man Chris.
Yeah. So I want to talk about how I remove child support from my credit legally.
Yes.
You're an author now.
I know, man. It's a different title for me, man.
You're an author now.
Yes, and it's a very simple thing. And what I like to try to do, and I know you do the same thing, it's like we want to show you what it is and what it's not. And I know we're all been indoctrinated. We all been into this space and where we think what it is, it's not that.
Man, shout out to Derek Grace. He came with the unlearn, relearn.
Unlearn, relearn.
It just stuck with me.
Unlearn, relearn. So So when people say, well, I did this and I did that, listen, these people are going to do what they're going to do.
Facts.
Just because you say stop doing it, that's like telling the bully, don't push me.
Bruh.
The bully going to be like, push.
Just told my son 2 days ago. His mother said, turn off the TV. Get dressed, go into your baseball game. He turned off the TV in his room, went in the living room, turned on the TV in the living room. I walk in the living room, I'm like, yo, you finna get in trouble. Your mother gonna come in here yelling at you because she just told you to turn off the TV. You thought that meant the TV in your room? So you gonna come on and turn on the TV in the living room? He said, okay, you're right. He turns off the TV. I'm like, man, go in there and put your stuff on so we can go to your game. Not even 3 minutes later, he goes back in the room, turn on the TV and turn it down low. And then he hear my flip-flops coming. He try to... Just because you tell them, it's just like kids.
They're not going to comply.
No.
But yet, they're going to want you to comply. So you hold these people in the compliance world.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm giving you a gem. They're not going to... The sole purpose of you telling them to doing something is for them to continue to violate you. That's the only true system where you can bring them into a court and like, look, okay, I gave them notice. I told them what was going down. I gave them what they need to stop. This is the laws. Oh, they kept doing it. Here's the proof. Here's their response, and here's the proof. Bam, package that up. Ain't no judge gonna throw that out. So it's a process, and if lawyers and attorneys, they do the same thing. That's why when you go, they do a consultation. They just want to hear the facts. They don't want to hear about how you fell in love and y'all used to be cool. They don't care about none of that.
Because none of that matters.
It doesn't matter. So they look at what's the facts. Oh, they did what? Oh, they did what? Did you got proof of that? That's why you got. Let me see your text. You got proof? Proof, evidence.
That's it. That's all.
Evidence. The best evidence win.
That's it.
This is the name of the game. So when I created this simple platform, this simple book, it was just saying, okay, look, here's the law. Okay, that's it. Here's the law, and here's what they're committing. Here, you pull up your credit report. Here's this reporting, and you send this document, this paperwork. You giving them notice, right? And I explained to them, look, I explained to you right on the ebook, straight what it is.
Yeah.
I'm giving you the actual evidence.
It's clear
I'm giving
cut.
you clear the day. But guess what? You're going to still get the people that say, hey, it didn't work.
No, you didn't work.
You didn't work. They may change look, when you send this information to these people, sometimes, a lot of the times, they're either shuffle, they'll change the account name of it, or they may just delete this information because, you know what? Hey, they want to be in compliance. Hey, you know what? They called us, a hand in the cookie drawer. Let me go ahead and remove it. You're going to get better results by using direct factual information opposed to you just doing some template system where you just cookie cut. No, this is direct information. And guess what? In my world, I don't want you to comply.
Because then that brings on remedy.
Because now I'm going next door. And we going to a loss. I'm taking you to litigation at this point.
So I'm gonna say what he ain't said because he like to be. Hey, what camera? Where my camera? This one, me right here. This one right here.
Oh yeah, you right there.
Focus on me right here. This is me. One credit guy is right here, and he ain't gonna say it, but I'm gonna say it. If child support is on your credit report within the last 20 years, that shit is fraud. It's not supposed to be there. Point blank, period.
Facts.
They were notified that child support is not supposed to be on your credit report.
Not at all. Not at all.
He found the document where they were notified.
In writing.
And the source that notified them, they are so credible. It's like, bruh.
Yeah, they super credible. They are
Yeah, they are the authority.
They say, hey, look, you're going to have to redo it. Now, real quick, I had a person that hit me, DM me, told me, the information that I shared with them, it helped them remove
Okay.
It helped them remove the stuff off their credit. I got another DM. They told me that, hey, look, I sent that information out, and all of a sudden, they say it don't exist. It don't exist. What are you talking? What? Huh? What? It don't exist. So you have to understand. You have to understand that they're very crafty. Mm-hmm. They know the laws. That's why they got attorneys in the basement, so to speak, right? They have corporate lawyers and stuff, so they know what's going on. It's up to you as the consumer, because they want to classify you as a consumer. Then there's consumer laws.
Right.
Okay, so if you want to be identified as a consumer, then there's laws that protect your social security number. It protects your credit reporting. Mm-hmm. So you can't just report anything. Why do you think you don't see felons, misdemeanors on your credit report? No, because they don't supposed to be. They don't supposed to be there.
It's not a credit transaction.
It's not a credit. What do you put in the? I had a ticket 25 years ago on my credit report. But if you allow these entities to abuse the system like that and out of compliance, then you have remedy.
It's all prima facie. It's to say, even in as I'm listening to you say that, and in my mind, I'm sitting here thinking that's prima facie, because they're saying is they're taking it as true and correct until you provide information to say otherwise.
Right.
It's the same thing.
It's this.
Child support and credit report and consumer law, they first cousins.
Yeah, they first cousins.
They
for
first
real.
cousins.
100%, because we're using the same stuff to deal with these entities. And now look, man. I know a lot of people follow the page. Shout out to this. We close to 60,000 at this point. Mm-hmm. And shout out to everybody. Listen, I know they follow you, and I'm talking about the agencies. Mm-hmm. Okay, I know a couple judges follow you.
Yeah.
I know a couple attorneys follow you, and a lot of child support services people follow us all over the country. Now, all we're saying is this: if you don't know you're a part of the problem, then that's something you got to sit with yourself. You got to think about and evaluate your job. What are you contributing to the freedom? Because everybody that has a soul has a desire to be free. This is why you work. Because if you wasn't working, right, you work to have a sense of freedom. You bought a car to have a sense of freedom. Mm-hmm. You graduate to have a sense of freedom. So as humans, we have a sense of want to be free.
Right.
Right.
That's a fact.
But if you're a part of the mechanism that keeps the people enslaved, I want to use that term, enslaved, mentally, enslaved. Then you're part of the problem. I know you get paid for your job, but you have to evaluate your job and say, damn, these brothers can't be sitting up here just making this stuff up. We're not making this stuff up. There's laws, there's tons of case law. He got his case dismissed over extrinsic fraud based off the pattern of practice of what these entities do. I have removed this off of my credit report based off of these things that they do in these entities. So you are somehow a part of the oppression, whether you know it or not. And we're just trying to educate our people to be free. And maybe you need to reform it or delete this whole shit and start over.
Entirely.
Because it is a problematic situation that goes across this entire country and all these communities. So, from celebrities to regular Joe Schmoes, you have this system that's just very oppressive, okay? And my thing is to fight back. If you're going to have a purpose here, man, fight back. Fight back. Rather you get to results that you want, at the end of the day, you still better fight back, because I get people that DM me and say,
What your mama say when you was a kid?
What?
If Lil Ray hits you and you don't hit Ray back and you come home,
I'm gonna spank you. I'm
gonna beat your ass when you get hit.
I'm gonna get you when what? Oh yeah, so it means you better put up a fight regardless. Doesn't matter if you win or lose. You can't just sit there. You just can't sit there like and just take it. So my point is, when it comes to the credit side of things, you can always fix and repair your credit. Once you repair and fix your credit, you can leverage it. But having the child support reporting on it as a negative thing and erroneous, because it is erroneous, it is untrue, it's not correct, is not. So therefore, you have the option to get it removed. Now, if they don't remove it, then you have to go to the next steps. There's certain levels. Like if you don't respond to something, there's another part process, right? Right. And a lot of people say, well, you know, it's going back to child support. You know, the proof of service is wrong. But what if everything was right? There's always going to be something wrong. Let me just tell you. Let me throw you a gem out there. There's always going to be something fucked up in a system because it's ran by humans. And even if AI ran it, it doesn't even matter if AI ran the shit. It does, because it's always going to be a problem in the system, like that, like the metrics. We all love the movie.
You sound like a Google lawyer.
It's hey, Google Scholar, Google Scholar, and what else? And YouTube University.
Yeah.
Listen, shout out to YouTube University. Man. But once again, hey, it's always going to be a problem in the system because the system is just designed to have flaws. And at the end of the day, you have to know how to recognize those things to get remedy. Now, I'm going to say this again. I tried everything you did. I tried everything I did. What if it don't work? You keep going because I'm telling you.
It ain't over until
it's
you
never
say it's
over.
over. You can always come back.
It was 22 years of damage that they did not only on your credit report, the opportunity cost that it created, the PTSD that it created, meaning, you know, bank accounts and taking your driver's license, and you need your driver's license at least. In the modern world, you need a driver's license to at least identify yourself to get a job. You can't do that. Then you go work. They're taking your money.
It says that your driver's license is a constitutionally protected instrument.
What? Say that again. The mic's on?
Your license
for the people in the back.
A constitutional protected instrument.
And the Constitution is federally protected instrument.
And you said 22 years. So what you mean, you saying 22 years that they frauded me for 22 years. But here's the thing. They were still frauding me even after my case was dismissed for extrinsic fraud for another 5 years. This is why someone in the comments the other day said, how is he off child support and the boy is always still in court? I said, look, there's, like you said, there's steps after that. Oh, yes, they've been found guilty. So now what? We got to talk about the damages. They've made me 2 settlement offers already. It was bullshit, so I didn't take them. So now we in federal court, which every attorney that I spoke to said, no, it can't happen. You can't sue them. It's not going to happen. Here we are in federal court. And I found as I'm going through these, now in federal court, I'm on my 4th amended complaint because they're very tedious. The first complaint was dismissed because my font was 12 and it should have been 14 or higher. They're very strict over there. But the whole point for bringing this up is, as I'm submitting my 4th amended complaint, the federal judge says she's looking at everything and she's like, wait, are they still enforcing the lien that's on your name? I'm glad you asked that question. 5 years after the case was dismissed for fraud, the federal judge is asking me, is child support still enforcing the lien that's on your name? I'm glad you asked that question. So, and opposed to me just telling you, I'm gonna show you the answer. So what do? I go to the register recorder's office, the clerk's office, the head clerk, the clerk thereof in Norwalk. I go down to the clerk, hey, here's my name. I just want to see if, this lien that's on my name, have they filed a release on this lien? And they said, nah, it's still active.
Wow.
It's still active, meaning if I got a big settlement, child support is going to take that saying, hey, Mr. Tillman owes us $60-something thousand, and we first in line, first in time. So therefore, that money got to come to us. Yes. They're still enforcing the lien. They're still collecting because that bond is on the stock market. So they're still making money on that lien. So I then go to child support. That's how I got the video, because the county clerk said, well, it's still active. You can go to them and tell them you need the release. So I go to them and I'm recorded, and that's when the lady said in child support, she said, yeah, we should have filed the release, but we didn't. It's on camera.
Oh, yeah, I see.
The lady said we should have filed it, but we didn't. Of course you didn't. Y'all still making money on it. You're still enforcing his lien 5 years after the case was dismissed for extrinsic fraud. So this is the thing. Like he's saying, you have to force them just because they don't follow it, just because this is what they're supposed to do. And not only what we're saying, it came out of child support supervisor's mouth. If you go look at the child support page and go look at the video, you hear her say, we should have filed it 5 years ago, but we did not.
You did not.
We did not.
So once again, real court is for the people. Real court. There's nothing wrong with that. Real courts is for the people.
Facts.
That is being infringed upon. That's being violated.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to seek remedy from these entities, right? Because you're a man, you're a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Y'all have to understand that these courts supposed to uphold a level of integrity,
Mm-hmm.
a level of being of honor,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which they don't.
Mm-hmm.
So it was. I would say this, in my situation, in his situation, it's like, look, you've been through it all.
Mm-hmm.
You tested the waters. We tested everything. We had ups, downs, failures, successes, and realized what was really going on. Like, oh, you got to keep your foot on their neck.
You have to.
At all costs. Like, wow, okay, now I understand.
And we forced them. We forced them to their own laws, their own procedures. So I'm gonna give y'all this in closing. It's a Supreme Court case law. It's White versus Nix. In White versus Nix, it says, even where the plaintiff did not raise any jurisdictional issue, the court is obligated to raise such jurisdictional issues if it perceives any. So if you're in these hearings, but now here's the thing. If you're like someone like Tyrese, not to just single out my brother, but in that case, because I wanted to jump back to that real quick, because when you have someone representing you, the courts are not obligated to protect you. You hired an attorney to protect you. So in that case, there was there was an attorney who was actually in his hearing and said that they was going through the money, and then in his prenup agreement, they said that if we don't contest, if we just split everything amicably and everything is cool, Tyrese agreed to say, I'll pay for all the attorney fees. I'll pay for my fees, I'll pay for her fees, I'll pay the court fees, because we're not contesting it. Therefore, it's going to be minimum. This is their prenup agreement.
Right.
But if it's contested, we're going to pay our own fees. So the arbitrator came in, and even though that this case was going on for several years, the arbitrator somehow, air quote, somehow mistakenly said that this case was not contested. Therefore, that's how it came out to that he had to pay $600,000. It was $200,000 to both of her attorneys, and then his actual attorney was $200,000. So that's how they got to the $600,000. But even though the arbitrator made a mistake, and here's the problem, his attorney did not object in a timely fashion to the arbitrator's mistake. Therefore, the judge said, hey, my hands are tied. I can't do nothing. Even though I seen it, you had an attorney. I can't protect you because you have an attorney.
And I
bruh,
rewind it back and play that again. So this is not from us listening to people. This is us going through the motions ourselves.
Facts.
This is how we understand and understand what's going on when it comes down to this court stuff and these attorneys and the lawyers and objection and presumptions. We immersed our brains and our time and our effort to understand what the hell is a presumption and assumption, and these courts are doing these things. These are opinions of judges. They're opinions, and if you know how to work these things, you will have better results. And unfortunately, in that case, there was an error made.
Yeah.
Right? But the courts' hands are tied because you had someone to represent you that should have known, reasonably should have known, to object
To make a
to
simple
that type
objection.
of quick little thing that could have relieved my man from that burden. Now, unfortunately, there's another piece that you can throw in there. Courts have discretion.
True.
But at the same time, when you have somebody speaking on your
That's
on your
what that
behalf,
case law, it goes back to discretion.
it's a problem. It's a discretion.
Because it forces them to where when you going in there self-represented and you presenting that case law and you saying, hey, even if being that I'm in here representing myself, and even if I don't present these jurisdictional matters and I'm taking you down this road, even though I don't know it, and but being that you have this extensive knowledge of the law because you sitting up here on this bench, if you perceive any jurisdictional remedies that are available to me, you are bound
By the
supremacy clause
Clause
to protect me in this
these
hearing.
things. And this is why you have all these mistakes and these things you talk, bro. We don't have a formal education, guys. I don't have a formal education. I have graduated, but I don't have a formal education, as they would say, right? We are self-taught. We self-knowledge. To me, is the biggest, I guess, the best results of being self-taught, because when you're self-taught, you're going to go through mistakes that you're going to learn from those things. And when you learn from those, your brain does some type of impression of that mistake where you're just going to always result back to that. And you're going to say, yeah, I remember that. Now, I'm not telling you don't get information from anybody that's educated, that got a formal education. Nah, for sure. Learn from where you can learn from. Eat the fish, spit out the bone. But we're self-taught. As you know, as Africans of the diaspora, we are self-taught. We have self-knowledge, and we continue to build on that by utilizing all different pieces of information, and we compress all that shit and say, okay, what worked, what didn't work. But you're saying that one of the fatal mistakes, and I know it's very intimidating when you go to bro. I got bread.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a lawyer to get me out of this situation. Now, in some cases it works that way,
Yeah.
but in some of these family law cases, nah, bruh. And you was better off just representing yourself, because at the end of the day,
Everything-
you still had to go.
Yeah.
It still happened.
And everything that you really want is done in mediation, and your attorney can't even be in mediation.
Yes, because mediation is between two private parties.
That's it.
And you guys making
can't
a
even have an
private
attorney
contract.
in mediation.
No.
So it's like,
So I know we was and I wanted to go back to what you were saying, because once again, custody, you entitled to custody equally, guys, equal. I know that we get caught up in saying, okay, hey, it's your baby, it's your way. Men has to step up to this plate.
It's
This
our
this
child.
is our child. Okay, all that negative stuff, you just got to let it go. You don't fall for it.
remove all emotions away
Just
from
leave
it.
that alone. If people, unfortunately, you're gonna have to step up to the plate and gonna have to take what's yours equally. If you don't want to have to deal with a lifetime of pain, confusion, headache, you don't have the relationship that you dreamt of to have with your children because of the other side. Look, man, I'm telling you that custody is an equal thing. I'm not telling you to not get an attorney, but I'm not telling you to get an attorney. He represented himself. I represented myself. So if you want to look for an answer, look between the lines.
within self.
So because a lot of things can be mistranslated of what you're trying to do, and you trying to relay that information to an attorney, and it doesn't go your way, so to speak, right? And you're like, oh man, look, there is rules, actual rules of court literally rules of court
Hey.
that will position you in a situation where when you self-represent yourself, these courts supposed to applaud you. Applaud you for representing yourself in the courtroom, not to take it as a negative thing, as you a constitutionalist and you're these things that and make you feel bad because you don't go seek out counsel. Nah, they're their own committee, because judges has a committee. They have a board they got to adhere to and they got to listen to also, guys. Nobody running around here freelancing, dog.
Man.
Ain't nobody out here talking about ain't no rules apply to me. No, they got rules that apply to them. And court rules are is more important than any case law, to be honestly. If you break a rule, the game stop.
Yeah.
Bro, we watch, look, shout out to the men and the women that watch sports. NFL, NBA.
Right.
If the rule broke and the referee agrees to not make a replay or show that replay, you can be pissed off all you want to, bro.
Yeah.
They not running that shit back.
No.
It's in the rules. They not running it back.
But guess what? You're the coach.
Oh yeah.
Your coach, he got a red flag in his back
Yeah,
pocket.
yeah. He can challenge.
He could throw the red flag.
he can
Or
challenge.
if you're playing basketball,
You can
challenge.
You can challenge.
Objection.
Objection.
You made the wrong call.
Yes.
You made the wrong call.
And we have seen it.
And sometimes it's overturned. Just because you wearing the black and white stripes,
Don't mean you
just because you wearing the black robe, just because you
make
got on a
mistakes.
fancy suit,
make mistakes.
that don't.
That's very costly.
Hey.
That could cost a nigga Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That
Facts.
cost you the ring, bruh.
Facts.
That cost you Game 7 because they didn't call that.
Facts.
Hey, everybody know that ultimate play with the Rams.
Yeah.
Hit the dude when they played New Orleans.
Yeah.
And they didn't call that as a
Pass it PI.
passing a PI.
It was
Woo,
clear. It was clear.
That cost them. That cost them. That
Man.
was heavy. That was federally investigated. That was so bad.
Man,
but
that's
my
a
point
fact.
is when you represent yourself, there's rules to this game.
Mm-hmm.
And if you learn the rules to that courtroom, bro, you would have more remedy than
Bro.
ever.
Man, I said many times, I don't have no extensive knowledge of the law. Only thing I did was, like he said, I figured out the rules. I read their policy. This is what they're supposed to do. I know that they didn't serve me, so what did I do? I said, okay, well, let me see what else they are supposed to do in the very beginning. That's it.
That's it. And
And,
they
now,
didn't
and I
do-
kept it real simple. Did you follow your own policies or no?
That's it. Wait. Did you follow your
policy
rules, your own policies,
or no?
or no?
That's it.
And here it is. Oh, man, this is checked off. This wrong. Damn. And guess what? If you didn't catch that, that's why we always tell people to do what when they dealing with their cases. Go back to the
Very beginning.
That's
where the remedy
to
comes
see
from. That's where the
what
remedy comes from.
was filed against you.
Yeah.
Any lawyer would tell you, if you don't have your case in front of you, they will always say, go and get your case so you can see what we're working with, dog.
Yeah, that's where the remedy comes from.
That's where it all comes from. So you're going to find loopholes.
yeah.
So, yeah.
So-
Other than that, yeah.
I want to say this real quick before we shut it down. July 15th, 2023, I will be speaking in Atlanta.
Yes.
July 15th, I will be speaking live in Atlanta with my god brother Truth. He's holding another event, and it's going to be monumental. So Atlanta, it's going down July 15th, 2023. You can go on my page and you can go on One Credit Guy's page. You can go to Brother Truth's page and to get the information. But it's going down July 17th in Atlanta, speaking live,
Yes, sir.
all things child support.
And that's the movement about. Is just spreading the information, man. We want you guys to, fight and
Yeah.
not lay down. And that's really what this podcast is about. That's what this movement is about. Shout out to the book, How I Stopped Child Support Legally.
Mm-hmm.
I dropped the book. I'm an author. I'm really proud of it. It's How I Remove Credit, Child Support Off My Credit Legally. You can go to onecreditguide.com. You can grab it there. And we do consultations also.
Yeah.
So, feel free to, holler at us. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we can, see what's going on. And Shout out to Tyrese and shout out to every brother that's out there fighting for the real cause and keep their family together. That's anybody that's out there that's doing the right thing morally.
That's a fact.
All right.
Like you said, the book is out right now. How I Stop Child Support Legally. It's available on childsupportersfraud.com. There you can get the master class, the books, the courses, the classes, consultations. Everything is available on childsupportersfraud.com. We're going to just keep pushing the information, no matter the restrictions, the hurdles, the pushback. We invite it all, and we're going to continue to thrive and, just continue to educate ourselves and continue to fight as well.
Definitely.
And that's how we're going to end it.
Peace to the kings, peace to the queens.
Episode 3, bam, bam, it's in the books. And I know y'all keep asking. We coming. We're going to keep putting out more long form content on YouTube.
As long as you subscribe.
As long as you subscribe to Child Supporters Fraud on YouTube. Like and subscribe, as the YouTubers say. Like and subscribe, this button. Bling.
Bing.
Yeah.
Peace.
We out.
Bam.